Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday. Seriously, beginning of the week, and it's still like, what day is it? Anyway, excuse me. Clearing my throat there. All right, it's Monday. It's like the last 2 days of July. So I have stuff planned for this week, but this is kind of an impromptu show in a way because couple of things happening today. Okay, first and foremost, if you have found this show, please do not leave, even when I start talking about the stuff I'm going to talk about, okay? Because I always feel like if someone finds something, they're meant to be here. So that's up to you completely, but I do ask you not to leave because there is a lot of good information and it's not as woo-woo-y as you may think, all right? The oracles might be, but we're going to also talk about Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde. But first and foremost, 11 years ago today, and interestingly enough, it was also a Monday. Oh, look, a bunch of birdies just flew in. It was also a Monday, I believe. Yeah, it was. Sissy Joe passed away. She had fought breast cancer in 2005, which was her original diagnosis. And then in 2008, she was re-diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer, which she fought for a good 7 years. The day she passed away was literally the day before she was going to start a clinical trial. And I see that there are some drugs out there for what she had and for the type of breast cancer that she had, the very aggressive kind. So, I'm glad that that's finally out to help people. So, so they can try to live a good long life. But, she was only 47 when she passed. She would have been 48 that year. But, she would have been 47 that year. So she died when she was 46. My apologies. She would have been 47 that year. So, I know. It's hard to think about. Kind of hit me sideways. I didn't expect for it to hit me sideways the way it did because I've gotten better at handling when people have passed and the anniversaries that come up. I try not to look at it as, just a day to be blue. I try to honor them on their days, like my mom and Sissy Joe and even my friend. But sometimes it's hard, right? So I did have a different show planned for today, but when I realized that was happening, it was kind of like, yeah, I need to do something special. So, we're going to do oracles in her honor, but we're also going to talk about Mercury retrograde because I forgot that started today. And on top of that, it's a full moon in Capricorn. Full moon cycles are usually 3-day cycles. They start the day before, then the day of, which is the fullest the moon will be, and then the day after where it begins to wane into, the new moon. So, yeah, a lot of things happening. And the full moon is in Capricorn. That's my sign. But, so lots of things. So let's get rolling with that. And then we'll do a couple oracles. Okay. So Mercury retrograde, it starts today. It ends on the 23rd of July, but there is a bit of a shadow period after. They call it a shadow period, but it's really kind of just, I guess it's kind of like, like when you're hopped up on caffeine and you're just kind of zoom, 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 and then you get the zoomies, right? And then all of a sudden you sit down and you're like, oh, it's kind of where you take your exhale. But here's the thing. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in Mercury retrograde, but even if you don't believe in it, it believes in you. All right. And weird things happen. Technical glitches can happen, travel delays, communication issues. That always seems to be the big one, right? I remember someone was having communication issues with a loved one, and then they texted me. They're all, "When is retrograde?" I'm like, "We're in it." They're all, "That makes sense." And because it had just been constant. But once they were aware of it, they kind of became aware of their attitude. I mean, not their attitude in a bad way, but kind of the way they approached things, right? So, technical glitches can also happen. So be a little patient. Someone may say, well, I thought I texted you and it may have gotten lost in the ether. All right. Because the weird stuff happens. If the moon can control the earth's tides, Mercury retrograde can fuck up your life. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Here's the thing. When you first learn about Mercury retrograde and you start reading everything you can read on it, it seems like it is the most horrifying, horrible thing on the planet. Actually, what it is it's a time to let go of the old patterns, and especially depending on the sign that you're in, right? So Mercury retrograde is happening in the sign of Cancer. And, whether you believe in astrology or not, Cancer is I would say it's one of the softer, astrological signs. I am not an expert on astrological signs. I know Capricorns, and because I have a zillion of them in my calendar, I know Scorpios, but the rest are just kind of spread out. But in fact, Sissy Joe was a Scorpio, but yeah. So just humor me, okay? Even if you don't believe in this stuff, just humor me. If you are having technical glitches at work, all right, just take a deep breath and relax. Just calm. She would say to me when we were fighting, just calm down. So, or I should say intensely arguing, just calm down. But, I know, but, we were like sisters. So sometimes we had those mini cat fights, but, an older sibling was like the older sister. So she rode in on her white horse and said, stop, like the referee. So anyways, we had a lot of unhealed trauma between the two of us. So, I think sometimes we were just each other's punching bags, and not good. But, I do believe that even though she's passed, that she really did kind of help me on my healing journey. So anyways, yeah, I know, as you can see, my hair is still a work in progress. It is not even close to being where I want it yet, but, I'm just letting it rest. So it's going to be this way for a while. Probably start changing it around Comic-Con, which is July. Couple weeks. I'm so excited. Like 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks from Thursday. Exciting. I know. And I'm so happy because retrograde ends the day before Comic-Con starts. Thank you, God. Don't need any technical delays there. So anyways, travel delays. Just, if you're traveling, double check. Okay. Double check everything. Give yourself extra time to be wherever it is you need to be. Double check your details. Make sure you're in the right gate, the right flight, the right terminal, everything. Okay. Don't necessarily just go by what's on your phone. If you need to ask. I know a lot of people don't like to, have human have human connection, but have some human connection. Okay. Tech glitches, again, be careful. It could be emails, misunderstandings, unclear communications, text messages that may seem a little terse when really it's just kind of like, okay, gotta go, bye. Not like, oh my God, I hate you. No, that's not what it means. It just means they're busy and they probably shouldn't be texting at that moment. So just, all right, breathe. Slow down, review, reflect. Okay, I do have notes. So again, this one is in Cancer, so it'll be bringing a strong focus to family, the home, and buried emotions. So if you have some unhealed, untapped trauma going on in there, this is the time that it is probably going to start coming up. All right. Oh, good morning, older sibling. It's going to start coming up, and it's going to ask you to deal with it. Okay. And if you need professional help, I strongly suggest professional help. A lot of people poo-poo it. A lot of people say, oh, don't go by what the TV says. Okay. Don't go by what your strange friend, or not stranger or a friend, has said, oh, therapy, blah, blah, blah. Just have your own experience. All right. If the person doesn't feel like they vibe with you, find the next one. I know sometimes it can be kind of a lengthy process, but you are worth it, and you are worth healing this trauma that you have. You do not need to carry it forever. Okay. That's the simple truth. You do not need to carry your trauma forever. So, you are allowed to heal it and let it go. So, also, this is a time when you don't want to make drastic decisions or sign contracts or buy new things. I know some people won't have a choice. All right. So really just kind of good juju yourself. But don't be afraid. Retrograde. Okay, so this is what I wrote. Don't be afraid. Retrograde offers a time to reflect and heal. And this one is starting on the full moon in Capricorn. So now it's time to let go of what no longer belongs with you. Old patterns, old ideas, the walls you built to protect yourself. If you're feeling like those are outdated, let it go. This is the moment to step into your life, leaving the fear behind. Okay? It is time. I'm talking to myself as well when I say this. An older sibling knows because I told her a lot about what I journaled this weekend. So this isn't just me telling you to do. This is also me. I have lived in fear for far too long. I carried that trauma with me. Even after I healed it, I realized I hadn't healed the patterns and I hadn't healed the way my nervous system reacts to things. And that they're, even though they're the same trauma, they're two separate healing processes. Your body, which is just kind of been trained to keep you safe, and then your mental health state, where you're just repatterning, just kind of readjusting your life to fit who you are now. It doesn't mean you're somebody completely different. It means the person that's been buried inside of you is finally having a chance to breathe and finally having the chance to come out and say, hey, I'm here. Let's do this. So find the courage, find the bravery. Again, with Mercury retrograde, this is a time to just let stuff go. Okay? Let it go. It's time. And again, the old patterns, or maybe, I don't know, that part is really, what do you call it? Personal. It's more of it's personal to you. So whatever it is that, that you find yourself repeating and you don't need to do anymore, it's time to let it go. All right. So that is your Mercury retrograde thought for today. And like I said, don't panic. I know a lot of people in the metaphysical community tend to just kind of wig out when Mercury retrograde comes around. And I used to be one of them until I realized one day I read an article that said, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be a time of learning and healing. And that's exactly what I did. And now sometimes, unless I absolutely know it's coming, I honestly don't really pay attention to it anymore. So because I do like to know, because sometimes I can be a bit bossy. I don't mean to. I'm a leader. I'm not bossy. I'm a leader. And like keep telling yourself that. But so I do know that sometimes I do have to watch my communications, and I do have to watch the tone, because apparently I have a tone. I don't mean to have a tone, but apparently I have a tone. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I have a tone. So, but a lot of times I think it's my resting bitch tone, right? Like I have a great resting bitch face. Like just when I'm focusing, and I think that's my tone. It's like I don't mean to. It's just when I'm focused. Like, go away. So I'm really not that bad. So anyways, let's do some oracles. We're just going to do 2 boxes today. The Enchanted Unicorn and the New Orleans deck. Sissy Joe was from Georgia. Well, she was born in Thailand, but she grew up in Georgia. She grew up in a lot of places because her dad had a cool job. But other than that, she did finish growing up in Georgia, and that's the place that she called home, because that's where her family is. Except her dad and brother, they're out here. But yeah, so, New Orleans is as close as I can get to Georgia. So that's the box we're going to start with. But anyways, we have guidelines. All right, we have guidelines, and I'm going to read them. Otherwise, I just ramble like now. Number 1, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here, still here. Number 2, do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. If it doesn't fit you, just, but it feels like maybe it resonates, hold on to it, put a pin in it, come back to it. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it and put it together. And number 4, angels, God, heaven, etc. might come up. Feel free to insert your higher power in the universe. This will help the flow of the reading without stopping to clarify. So I know there's a lot of different belief systems out there, and not everybody, tunes into a specific, some people turn into a different God or gods or a spiritual table. So I don't want to step on toes. Okay. So but if it does come up, because sometimes the cards that I do have that in there. Sometimes I just buy them by the way they feel. So I don't necessarily always know what's in them. But if it does, just, pop in the universe. Okay. So let's start with the New Orleans deck. Ooh, look at that. Step back. I didn't even mean to find that one, but step back. That is a retrograde card. Step back, look at everything, and just heal the family dynamic, especially, okay? Whatever's going on in there or whatever's happening, sit down and communicate. Sometimes people like to yell at each other, but just sit down and communicate. It's not that hard. The only reason we make it hard is because people like to talk over each other when they're fighting. And then nobody ever really hears what's happening. Nobody ever hears what's going on. And that is why communication can be very difficult between people. So if you find yourself getting angry, or you both find yourself getting angry, you can even choose to walk away and say, you know what, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to take a deep breath, and then we'll talk about this. We're not done yet. If you need to communicate, or just sit there and do some breathing exercises together. You have to wonder how many relationships could be saved, or friendships, or family relationships, if people actually just sat down and talked and stopped talking over each other. But things may come up, right? Things may come up, and they may come up about you and the things you do. And I will tell you this now, there is no shame in taking accountability. I got a rogue hair today. There's no shame in taking accountability. I had to learn to take accountability. And it was the hardest thing in the world, because, when you're already hurting, the last thing you want to do is, to be told, hey, you got some behavioral issues here. Right? And you're just kind of like, what else can I be wrong about? What else is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. This is your trauma trying to come up and out. This is something that was painful for you trying to come up and out that you buried. Okay. Some people just kind of spew things at the TV and yell at it and don't really yell at anybody. And that's how they let out steam. But that doesn't work for all of us. Okay. So if you're that hurt person hurting people, you have to learn to take accountability. But I'm telling you, when you learn to take accountability, and even when you do it right in that conversation, that can actually flip a switch in the other person and say, okay, so work on it together. Don't be ashamed of the actions, because it's not necessarily you. All right. Now, if that's just how you are, take a step back and start thinking about how you might be hurting people. Because there are some people out there that think that, well, I know this because I've been through that. And, no, nobody wants a know-it-all. Okay. Nobody needs a know-it-all. I did that also for a while. All right. I'm like seriously throwing myself under the major bus today, like a double-decker London bus. All right. Because I've been there. And this is, part of the perspective is for me to share the things I've been through to help other people heal theirs. By sharing my story, I'm hoping to help other people heal theirs. But that also means I got to be very honest about my story. I'm not going to just give you the good stuff like, oh, I went through my healing journey and it was all lollipops and rainbows. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was hard. Because I had to do a lot of looking in the mirror. Instead of turning it the other way and putting it on everyone else, I had to turn the mirror on me. And that was difficult. That was very difficult. But I have to tell you, that was probably one of the biggest healing jumps I made when I was finally able to take accountability for my actions. And there are times when I still do, because I still hold on to old patterns. I get a little tense sometimes, and I don't mean to, it just kind of happens. And maybe that's my nervous system reacting, which I'm working on now. But also it's just, those are old patterns. We go in directions to try to heal ourselves. And, you know, we forget that it's not always going to be easy. So, you know, there are things you can do. There are lots of different things that I can help you with if you want to reach out. The Ho'oponopono is a great thing. It's really a focused meditation, but, you know, you're also kind of just cleaning yourself out, like your whole energy system. So, all right, well, nothing seemed to want to come out, right? I don't know if it's just that one card and then the unicorns or what. Let's try one more time. I feel like there's another card in here. Come on. I know there it is. See, told you. Oh, did you see that? That one's like, oh, don't forget me. I'm here. Oh, all right, let's start from the bottom because that's the first card. First, second, third. There we go. All right. Ooh. Oh my God. The last time we talked about this totally happened. End of a cycle. Hello. What were we just talking about? Healing, right? Retrograde, learning to communicate, all this end of a cycle. That's exciting. And the full moon is also about that. The new moon, when it's waxing into the full moon. So the situation we were just in, right before this full moon came along, that's when you want to manifest things. And you can also manifest during the full moon. But the full moon is also about letting go, which is why your first 2 weeks of retrograde will be great because you take it one day at a time, right? The full moon is telling you, let it go, okay? As it wane, all right? As it wanes, which means disappears, versus waxing, which means reappears, right? So there's waxing and then there's waning. So, yeah, so it's the end of a cycle, which means it's time for you. If you've been on your healing journey and you've been like me and you've been stuck, like your ass has been stuck, I tell you, I'm just like, why do I feel like I'm in limbo? Like my hair, right? My hair is in limbo. I'm in hair limbo right now. But I'm embracing it hard. I'm really embracing it hard. But yeah, everything has just felt like it's been in limbo for a long time for me. And I realized it's because I keep holding on to old patterns. We have to be brave enough to move forward. And no one's saying, hey, you know, we are talking about taking a leap of faith into this new version of you. Right? This newer version, the healed version of you. Because here's the thing. In the newer healed version of you, you're not trying to control everything. You're not protecting yourself from the world. Yeah, you have boundaries. You have healthy boundaries now. Right? And you have healthier patterns now. But they're all unfamiliar feelings because they're not trauma-based. They're not painful. They're not, you know, there's not something attached to it where you're like, okay, great, I'm having this great day today. How long will it be before I fall into a spiral? No, you're going out there and you're just living. So, you know, take it one day at a time. And when that's hard, when it's hard for me to take it one day at a time, sometimes I just have to take it one moment at a time. I just have to feel my way through it, like you're feeling your way through a dark hallway until you find the light switch. And then you're like, oh, thank gosh, I can see now. Okay, so this is your end of your cycle, which means it's time to move forward in confidence, in courage, in bravery, because you can do it. I believe in you. And I'm not just saying that. I believe in you because there was a time when I didn't believe in myself and my support group believed in me. The people that I turn to in my darkest moments when I'm, you know, basically like a raving lunatic. And they sit there and they just look at me like, all right, or older sibling, all right, let's bottom line this. And they see me through. And even now, because I'm not a big person who shares my feelings. And good morning, Muddy. You didn't miss much. We just talked about retrograde. It starts today on the full moon, the fullest part of the full moon in Capricorn. But anyways, we're talking about the end of a cycle. So yeah, you're just, you know, having that good support group, which, speaking of which, Muddy and older sibling are a big part of my support group. Older sibling, she's a saint, all right? Because she's also my roommate. She's like my older sister, my best friend, and my roommate when I'm home. I'm not home right now. Right now, my dad's my roommate, or I'm his roommate. But, this is temporary. When I'm home, she's my roommate. And she has had to deal with the worst parts of me. And they weren't always pretty for her. And I wasn't always nice. But she never quit on me. She never gave up. See, everybody else that doesn't live with me, they see what what may escape, but she saw my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and she helped me put that away, right, Mr. Hyde, which is so funny, right? Mr. Hyde sounds like he'd be the nice guy. Dr. Jekyll sounds like he'd be the asshole. Just saying, but way to go, Robert Louis Stevenson. I think it was Robert Louis Stevenson, right? I'm pretty sure that's who wrote it, because I remember reading an article saying that, his wife thought it was evil, so she threw away his first draft. It's like, oh, she burned it or something like that. It's like, oh my God. If someone took something I wrote and poured my heart into, I'd be like, what the hell? But everything happens for a reason, right? So when he rewrote it, maybe he wrote it a little bit better. So who knows? But we're talking about the end of your cycle. All right. So just, if you feel like you're there, let go. I know it's scary and it's freaky and all those things, but let go. All right. Hurricane Katrina signifies the end of an era in an unexpected and uncomfortable way. The hurricane led not only to the devastation of well-known comforts, but also to the beginning of desired growth and forward movement. Many times it is necessary for things to fall apart in order for them to come together. If this card is shown up in your reading, you can expect that your comfort zones have shaken up. The good news is that whatever your perception of change or loss is in this situation, there are wishes about to be fulfilled on the horizon. Focus your energy on the things that you do have control over. Move forward step by step instead of trying to create the entire plan in advance. There will likely be things that arise during this time that can be perceived as setbacks, but if you focus on what is in your power, this experience, while not the easiest, will still prove to have a positive outcome. So I talked about why I'm doing the New Orleans deck, because Sissy Joe, today is the day she passed 11 years ago, and just a recap. And but funny enough, right? Because I talked about how she's from the South. Sammy is from the same state as Sissy Joe. So thanks for repping Georgia today, Muddy. Sibling and I got California down. But thanks for repping. Thanks for repping. And it's kind of funny, right, about older sibling and I. This is what I mean by you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. So older sibling was born and raised in LA. I was born in Hawaii but raised in San Diego. And then we both met in Orange County, which is literally bookended by both of the big cities. Orange County is kind of like a suburb of both of the cities. At one point, it used to be called the Greater LA Area until they fought to become their own county, and they became their own county. But older sibling likes to throw that at me every so often. It's the Greater LA Area, which in a way it is, because I mean, if you're just driving, you know when you're hitting San Diego, right? If you're on the 5 freeway. But you really don't know if you're, where and when you get to LA, except the freeways, because the freeways in Orange County are wide and the freeways in LA start to get very narrow. You were born in Virginia? I had no idea. Sorry. Muddy says I was born in Virginia. Well, Sissy Joe was born in Thailand. So you both grew up in Georgia. So, and and to that point, I was born in Hawaii, but I really consider myself a California native. I moved here when I was 3 months old. Okay, well, I didn't move here. My parents brought me here when I was 3 months. I mean, technically we moved here, but they moved me here when I was 3 months old. So, I mean, the only thing I really have that my connection to Hawaii is every summer my parents would send me back. So for 3 months every year, right? Which is basically the first 3 months of my life. So my stint in Hawaii has always been a 3-month max. But I mean, San Diego, I mean, I love Orange County where I live now. I love LA. My goal has always been to move to LA, but I'm close, like 10 miles from the border. But San Diego will always be my home. This will always be my hometown. So, yeah, see? So Muddy says, been here since I was 4, so I consider myself a Georgia native. Totally a Georgia native, right? Sissy Joe moved to Georgia, I think, when she was about 10-ish, maybe 11. And she always considered herself a Georgia native. In fact, She had the accent to go with it, the southern drawl. I know, Sam. The first time I talked to Sammy, I was like, whoa, it's like talking to Sissy Joe when she goes to visit. Because Sissy Joe, she sounded like she was from California, but the minute she talked to a family member or came back or ended up in Georgia and called home, it's like, whoa, who are you? I mean, it was like that, right? Even her brother used to make fun of her. Because, you know, she would just flip it so much. Okay, seriously, this next card. See, you know what? This is why I asked you to stay. Because you can't make this stuff up. You guys saw me shuffle. End of cycle, right? New beginnings. New beginnings. I know it's the cemetery, but new beginnings. So, if you want to enjoy your new beginnings, you've got to end that cycle. Okay, let go of the patterns. If you're like me and you are sitting in healed person limbo, not sure where to go, take the first step forward. You got to take the leap of faith. I've been trying to tell myself that all weekend. Take the leap of faith once and for all. I can't tell you how many times I journaled about letting go of fear, letting go of this, having more courage, being more brave, and it's all talk until I actually take that step forward. So take that step forward. Take it with me, okay? Take that leap of faith. You know, you never know what that leap of faith is going to bring you. If there's something that you've been reaching out for, but you've been afraid because you think you might be rejected, just do it anyway. Do it anyways. Because you know what? Even if you're rejected, something better will probably come along. Or they're never going to know what they're missing. But the next person will benefit. Don't quit on yourself. That a lot of times when things don't go our way, our first reaction is to just plop down face first on the floor and, you know, play dead. Don't do that. Don't do that. We need to stop doing that. We need to let go of those patterns, those nervous, the old fight or flight nervous system thing. And we need to just trust. Excuse me. Sorry. I was able to successfully fight off my cold, but I still got that post-nasal drip because, you know, my sinuses are jerks. But anyways, so new beginnings. This is your card. Now, again, like I said, Lafayette Cemetery, it may feel like, you know, but look at all the butterflies, right? Butterflies are what happened. And the butterflies are the best example when they go through that chrysalis mode. I think that's the chrysalis, right? Well, whatever it is. When they go from being a cute little fuzzy caterpillar to cocooning themselves to this butterfly, it's an icky process. They are literally becoming goo to reshape themselves. So they are breaking themselves down to the most basic bits of what a caterpillar is, which would be your unhealed person, or even the limbo person where we're at now. So limbo is kind of our cocoon, right? Limbo is this cocoon where we're sitting there and it's like, what do I do now? Well, the butterfly knows what to do. The butterfly starts pushing out. Now, here's the interesting thing that I learned, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I did try to find the science on it, and the science said so. So, and when I said I don't know if it's true or not, because first I Googled it, and I can't remember if the Google thing or the science, but I'm pretty sure it was the science, because I think I saw a documentary on it too. I watched so many documentaries. I mean, Sir David Attenborough, hello, BBC, Planet Life. I know, right? I think oh, I almost forgot. Happy birthday to Mel Brooks. He made it to 100. Thank goodness, because we've been let down by people in the past. So him and Dick Van Dyke, they're rocking the hundreds now. But, oh, and Sir David Attenborough, right? I always get him confused with his brother. But he turned 100 this year too. Wow. I mean, Dick Van Dyke turned 100, I think, last year. But wow, that's goals, man. That is goals. But anyways, when you're in the cocoon, the butterfly has to push out. If you try to help the butterfly, you are going to hinder it and you are going to hurt it. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't need a support group. But when you're pushing out of that cocoon, you need to do it on your own, because what's happening for the butterfly is as it's pushing its way through the cocoon, all the fluids and everything are going into its wings so that it can fly. And because, you know, but all the other little caterpillars and butterflies are probably outside of the cocoon going, go, you can do it. You know, raising their little wings, flapping their wings, doing their little antenna things, going, yeah, come on, push your way through. You got this. And then they all fly off together, right? Just like in this one. They're all hovering around this beautiful plant. Now, here's the thing. Death is life. And this, the way I've always seen this card is it's kind of the death card in the tarot, right? But movies and pop culture and things like that have kind of ruined the death card and the devil card. The devil card is having to look at yourself and, and basically heal this trauma. That's the most basic meaning. The death card is the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new one. On occasion, it might mean actual death. Like, hey, you had a family member. I see a death card. Did you have a family member that died? But your intuitive reader is going to know, okay? Not like, oh, I put this down, you're dying. No. It's a new beginning. It's your new normal. When my mom died, it became my new normal. My life wasn't going to be the same without her. When Sissy died 10 months later, I had to enter another new normal. I was down a mom and I was down a soul sister. Thank God I still have older sibling. And funny thing is, she's the oldest of all of us. I'm the baby. And Sissy Joe was the middle child. But they were my soul sisters. So I lost my mom and Sissy Joe within 10 months of each other. And my new normal, it sucked. And it took me a very long time to get to this place where I'm at now. Because I tried to find every excuse not to heal. Or I would heal and then I would throw myself on the bed and be dramatic about it. Like, oh my God, I can't do this. Who to me? So your new beginning, it starts with you. It starts in here and it starts in here. And remember the one thing I always say, what you speak is what you hear. It's what your brain is going to process. And it's going to end up being what you see. So speak positive. Speak love into your heart. Fill your cup with your love. Fill your cup with your pride. Fill your cup with your joys and, your self-respect and your self-care and your self-love. Because that's where it starts. It starts in here. And then it filters up into here and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, the world does look a little bit different. Because you're looking up at it now. You're not looking down at your phone. You're not looking down at your feet while you're walking, trying not to be seen or be invisible. I did that for a long time too. I still kind of do that. And I'm not always certain in every situation I'm in. I'm not trying to talk a big talk or act the big act. Because, I have my shortcomings too. And I still do. Life scares me. Because I spent the first good part of my life just being small, fitting myself in other people's boxes. Being myself around the people I felt comfortable with and the people I know I could trust. And I've been told I have a very big personality. Older sibling calls it charisma. Sometimes I think I'm a bit much. But it's time to embrace your new beginning. And like I said, if you can't take it one day at a time, take it one moment at a time, one step at a time. But trust yourself and trust your path and trust the process. So the word cemetery is usually associated with loss and gloom. However, in every ending, there is also a new beginning. You have picked this card because within your recent difficulties and endings, there is also a very bright new beginning that is more attuned to your highest good. It can be easy to get lost in counting the ways things have fallen apart, but the universe has already begun piecing together a better experience for you. If you're ready to embrace it. Sorry, there was a comma, but I did not know there was a period coming up. So again, the universe has already begun piecing together a better experience for you if you're ready to embrace it. Now, the if can be your pause, and it can also be your limbo. So you have to decide, where are you with that if? Are you ready to just see? Because like it says here, you have to embrace it. Only you can embrace it. Nobody can embrace it for you. No one can force you to embrace it. No one can say, hey, just stop being in limbo and embrace it. Only you can make that choice. And I think for a lot of us, it's time to make that choice. It's time to awaken and arise, right? Rather than focus on the obvious and negative, it is time to see how you have been released from what has been holding you back and to explore all the new positive possibilities that have been created by this shift. There you go. I'm excited. Oh, shit. Sorry. Growth. End of a cycle, new beginnings. It's growth. It is growth. And look, she's got Mother Earth in there, and it's, it's, a lot of people call her Gaia. A lot of people just call her Mother Earth. But look, she is nurturing the world. She is nurturing us. She is telling us, hey, you know what? Look, and look, coming out of her third eye, right, is this beautiful light right out of her crown. And she's surrounded by this beautiful warmth and the light and the water, because water is so important. Water flows in and out, right? Water is probably the best example of how to go with the flow, because it just goes. Rivers just flow. Oceans, waves, everything. They're constant movement, constant action. And that doesn't mean you have to be in constant movement and constant action, but what it's telling you is go with the flow. Yes, she does. Muddy's all, and she has curly hair. Yes, she does. See, because she favors the curly haired. Muddy and the struggle is real. I'm telling you. I mean, I can't complain because she lives in the humidity, and it only gets humid here every so often, but we know the pain. Oh God, especially when you have long hair. But yeah, that's a beautiful card. So 30, growth. I love it. It's growth. If 3 cards, God, I'm in awe. There are times when I just read and it's just kind of like, oh, this is awesome. But when we're talking about Mercury retrograde, and then we come into 3 cards, and 2 of them were struggling to come out, right? And then that very last one, which was growth, was the one that just kind of said, nope, I want to come out too. And I mean, for those of you who saw me shuffling earlier, you saw it. So this is the universe. This is God. This is your higher power. Whoever you turn your faith to, telling you, when you let go, which is ending the cycle, and you embrace this new step out of limbo, or even into your healing journey, you're going to find growth. Because see, here's the thing. Growth can come anywhere in this. It can come with you at the end of your cycle. It can be before the end of your cycle. Growth could lead to the end of your cycle because you've healed, whatever it is. And, people think trauma stories are these really horrible things that happen to people when they're just kids. No, it's anything that has hurt you, that you have held on to for far too long, and patterned, kind of self-destructive patterns around it. That needs to be let go. Trauma is whatever is hurting you inside. It doesn't have to be this big, grand thing that happens to other people. Whatever has hurt you inside, that's the trauma that you need to heal. That's the emotion, right? We call it trauma, but it's the emotion you need to heal. It's that pain inside of you. And growth, again, can lead to the end of cycles, and growth can lead to new beginnings. But also ending your cycle, moving into your new beginning, is also growth. So see, Mama Earth, she's rotating. She's rotating around all these things. She's rotating around us. She's telling us, look, I'm nurturing you. So you take whatever this is, your life now, your world, take your world and nurture it. Make it the life that, one of my favorite quotes is from Henry James. It's time to start living the life you imagined. And, sometimes life will go a little bit different than we imagined. But I always like to think of that as being, it's time to start living this healed journey. Just instead of looking at the world as a scary place, and this is just coming to me now, so I'm listening to, because like I said, I'm in limbo as well. Instead of looking at the world as a scary place, look at it with curiosity. Look at it with adventure. I talked about how I love documentaries because I'm curious about everything. And I think that's why that message came out the way it did, because I think that's the answer for a lot of us. Be curious. Be adventurous. No one's saying go out there and jump out of an airplane with a parachute attached to your back, and a guy, because now you got to do that if you're a first-time parachuter. No one's saying do that unless you want to. That's your choice, not my thing. I do not jump out of perfectly good airplanes. But Go out there and be adventurous. Do something you haven't done that you want to do. Okay? Don't worry about how to work out. Just know that it'll work out. You know, and if it doesn't, it's a lesson. It's not a setback. It's not a tragedy. It's a lesson to move forward. Okay, so you are growing to trust yourself more. You're becoming more aware of your intuitive feelings and guidance by allowing yourself the time and flexibility to acknowledge and honor these feelings. You are supporting yourself and having the most fulfilling life possible. Stopping to ask yourself how you feel about something as opposed to what you think about something can make all of the difference. Sometimes what feels right may not be the next logical step, but inevitably it will be what is for your highest good. I am so excited about that reading. We're only going to pull one unicorn card because I really want that to stick with everybody. However, that being said, I really do feel like this is going to be the exclamation point on the sentence. I hope. Come on, uniforms. Come on, unicorns. Be the period on the sentence, the exclamation point on the thought. I don't know if that's it. That doesn't feel like it. I'm waiting for it to just fly out of here like the unicorns like to do. That top card. Anyway. Come on. What do you got for me? What do you got? All right. Give me a second, please. Hold, please. That's funny. Sissy Joe used to do that all the time. Because we used to, funny enough, our offices were right across the freeway from each other. So every so often, you know, like, she'd call, how you doing? I'm standing there. I can see your office building. I couldn't see her because I was on the other side, but, and then she'd be like, she'd get a call. Hold, please. So anyway, no, that didn't seem to work either. Maybe that one card I pulled out is the card. All right, one more shuffle and we'll see what comes out. Is that it? Nope. All right, well, nope. Love spell. I know, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, maybe if I just step into my curious area and stop being in limbo, someone will find my Prince Charming will find me. I don't know. But so I really feel like that one was because I was just kind of manifesting it. So not on purpose. Why is this so hard? Is this not it? Is this not the deck? Hold on. All right. I saw this one earlier, so I'm wondering if this is the deck we're meant to have. An invention keeps coming up. All right. I don't know who needs to see this, but this is the second time invention came up. If you have an invention or whatever, get on it. If you have an idea, get on it. It's time. There it is. All I had to do was threaten it with another deck. Oh, my God. I knew it was in there. What did I tell you? Like I said, I just had to threaten it with another deck and poof, it came out. It's like, wait, don't give up on me. Are you ready? Because this is my favorite card in the entire deck. Blossom. Blossom. Oh, I love this card. My second favorite is Cupcake. Cupcake is adorable. I love her. She is my spirit unicorn. I think both of them are my spirit unicorn. I got to show you Cupcake. There she is. There's my girl. Oh yeah, and Divinity. Okay, if you have the Divine, look at her. I know. And the people are going to say, now I see why she's your favorite. No, she's my favorite because she just doesn't give a damn. She's just like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to taste my way through it, and I'm not going to let anyone shame me about it. But Blossom, the start of a new fantastic journey. If there was any kind of card out there to be the period or the exclamation point on this sentence, she's the one. He or she. Maybe they're non-binary. But they are the one. This little baby. One of the reasons this is one of my favorite cards. And you know what I just noticed? She kind of has that third eye thing going up here. coming out of her roots, right? But she's the cherry blossom. Cherry blossom's new hope, the sakura. But I love her because just look at her face. That is the face of joy. That is the face of joy. But time to step out of limbo and allow yourself to blossom. So again, the start of a fantastic new journey, the sakura, which is the cherry blossom. Sakura, or Japanese cherry blossom, are ornamental trees revered for their luminous blush pink flowers. They flower in Japan in late March and early April. Sakura are synonymous with joy, celebrations, relaxation, festivals, and contentment. The blossoms themselves are used in snack dishes, both sweet and savory, to flavor delicious teas, or as beautiful floral display. The cherry blossom's ephemeral nature is seen as metaphor for the short yet powerful time we are here on Earth. So every so often, because you know I'm obsessed with England. Well, I wouldn't say obsessed. It's more like a soul thing. But there's a channel I follow on YouTube, and they just kind of do walking things, walking tours. And I saw one for spring a couple months ago, and the cherry blossom, I mean, I was almost in tears. They're so beautiful. And it's just something I would love, love, love to see in person. They do have a Japanese museum out here in San Diego that does have the blossoms every year. But unfortunately, I was on a ship to Hawaii where it was raining like cats and dogs. So I did miss the bloom at that point. But it's beautiful. And that's how your life can be. You know, beauty is in perception with everything. Sometimes you hear these catty people saying, well, why is that person with that person? Because they see the beauty in those two people see the beauty in one another. And we need to start seeing the beauty in ourselves, but we also need to start seeing the beauty in our journey. The beauty that comes with being able to wake up every morning and breathe. You know, and there are people out there who, like me, have a dinged up mental health where some days might be harder than others, but you're awake. And I know it's easy for me to say, just be grateful that you're alive, but sometimes that's all you need to do. Instead of waking up saying, God, I'm still here, just wake up and say, you know what? I'm here. How can I make today better? That doesn't always heal the depression, okay? I get it. That doesn't always heal the mental health issue. But, you know, it can help. It's a start. It's planting that seed. Muddy said she's precious. She is. Somebody needs to make a doll of her. I need a doll of her. I do. Or a little Funko Pop of Blossom, because she is, I love her. Her and Cupcake. So anyways, the Japanese custom of hanami is the practice of feasting beneath the cherry blossoms, and one that has been enjoyed for hundreds of years. One must be quick to seize the opportunity because the glorious display only lasts 5 to 7 days. This is your yes card. Yes, get out of limbo. Start being curious. Have that adventure. Its energy is one of new opportunities, taking a leap of faith and enjoying some beginner's luck. The energy of this card is very positive. Blossom is playful. Yes, she is. And whimsical. It is about approaching possibilities with a light heart and a sense of fun. This unicorn heralds the start of a fantastic new journey, and for this reason is much like the Fool card in the tarot. Have a little faith in the future when Blossom skips into your life. There you go. We had the end of cycles, new beginning, growth card, and Blossom. Start of a fantastic new journey, right? It can be scary to take that first step, and not for everybody. I'm telling you right now, somebody's probably out there watching this going, I'm out. I'm gonna dip my toe in that water and see what it looks like. I'm gonna go feel it. Or somebody might just be diving right in, just going, yeah, let's do this. Feeling that motivation. And sometimes we might peter out, right? Like we might accidentally burn out, or we might that's not burning out. That's just your body saying, okay, take a deep breath. It's time to relax. It'll still be there tomorrow. It'll still be there in an hour. Just soak in everything around you. Breathe it all in. Let it embrace you while you're embracing it. new beginnings, like I said, for some people, including me, it can be scary. But we shouldn't have to live in limbo anymore, all right? So I'm speaking to those people that are stuck in limbo like me. It's time for us to get out there. And I'm telling you, I will do this with you. We need to trust the process. We need to take that leap of faith that everything is going to work out and it's going to be okay and we're going to be safe. That's the biggest word, right? It's that safety feeling that we need to feel. And we can do this. I believe in us. I do. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on video. I believe in us. I believe in all of us. And for those of you who are just starting out on your healing journey, I believe in you. You know, it took me, I say it took me longer than I expected it to, but that's just because I kept throwing obstacles in my way because I was afraid. But once I stopped being afraid and I started embracing that healing journey and I started not being so afraid to go deep and heal all these things and reface things that I had buried for years and years and years, I found my way through. Because when it comes to healing, it's like a tunnel. The only way out is through. And that's why I also say that if you're going on a healing journey and it's becoming very difficult, maybe it's sending you into spirals, please seek professional help or have a very, very strong support group. Okay. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, well, so-and-so over there is, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean people who are not afraid to tell you what you need to hear. That's my support group. My support group, especially older sibling, she is not afraid to tell me what I need to hear. Baby sibling, same way, not afraid to tell me what I need to hear. And when I approach people now, I ask them, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear or do you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Because, you know, sometimes they're not in that place yet, right? So they just need someone to be there for them. They don't need any words. They don't need any advice. They don't need anything. Don't give unsolicited advice. If somebody asks for your help, help them. But it's always good to start with saying, you know, how do you want me to approach this? So let's do this. I know, I'm nervous. I can feel all the butterflies. Speaking of butterflies, right? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please go out there and have this great life. And also, I think Cupcake was not a mistake because she used the body positivity card. No matter how you feel about your body, thick or thin, love it. Love every bit of it. From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, because it's your body. You can do whatever you want with it. You know, it's yours to live in. It's yours to blossom. It's yours to grow. Your personal growth. So, you know, again, I hope everybody... Okay, I'm sorry. This is funny. The top card was snacks. All right, we got Cupcake and snacks. Seriously. All right, so release your judgments around food. That's not a card we're going to go into, but it is a card that's saying, if you're having body positivity issues, release your judgment on food. All right? Doesn't mean you have to binge, but just release your judgment on food. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelly Marie Lucas. You can find me on YouTube and TikTok, and then all the videos kind of spread out through social media from there, except YouTube, or except Instagram, because, you know, whatever. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. This is probably one of my favorite readings that I've done. Other times I just do it because my brain isn't totally braining, but today it hit every nail on the head that we needed it to hit, especially after talking about retrograde and healing things and learning to communicate and facing those emotions that are strong and sometimes hard emotions to face. So again, just take it one moment at a time, take it one day at a time. You know, if you need to plan, that's okay. But when it comes to, you know, the everyday, just spontaneous part of life, which is just every moment that we're in, just take it one moment at a time if it becomes too overwhelming. All right? And have a great day.